Gunther calls out Brock Lesnar. The best and worst of Raw, Bronn Breaker's injury is eating him up alive, Vince McMahon quietly trying to buy back WWE, The Undertaker has unfinished business with AJ Styles, Brock Lesnar's schedule revealed, and much, much more. Let's dive right in. The best and worst of Raw. WWE had a lot to accomplish on the final Raw before the Elimination Chamber PLE. 2 spots were up for grabs, and Jey Uso and Raquel Rodriguez filled them. Natty essentially knocked Maxine Dupree into oblivion. Brock Lesnar appeared, as did several of AJ Styles' contemporaries from WWE and TNA. Bronson Reed appeared to suffer an injury during his qualifier, and many things on the show laid down a massive impact on the road to WrestleMania. The show kicked off with a heated promo by Gunther, which turned into a brawl between him and Dragon Lee. Besides, Liv Morgan finally made her WrestleMania decision this week, revealing who she wants to face at the grandest stage of them all. Besides, the show was closed out by none other than AJ Styles, who delivered an emotional speech to wind up his WWE run. The dead man announced Styles as the latest inductee in the 2026 WWE Hall of Fame class. With Elimination Chamber days away, this is the good and the bad of this week's Raw. Number 1. The good. A strong showing for Javon. Javon Evans has been rising as one of the most promising stars today. Fans love him for his performance in the ring, and his popularity is increasing day by day. Therefore, WWE surprisingly put him in the men's Elimination Chamber match this year. Ahead of the big PLE showdown, Evans was involved in an entertaining match that has certainly fueled his momentum. Ahead of the Chamber, Evans squared off with former WWE champion Kofi Kingston this week on WWE Raw. The 2 stars delivered an exciting showdown in Atlanta, where the young OG scored a big win. This showing has now set up the foundation for a notable performance this weekend at Elimination Chamber. Javon could come out as a dark horse during the match by giving a tough fight to names like Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes. Number 2. The bad. Where's the stars competing at the EC? As mentioned, Jey Uso and Raquel Rodriguez joined the field of participants. Javon Evans beat Kofi Kingston, but outside of a brief Cody Rhodes appearance, none of the other combatants in either chamber showed up in a significant capacity. They could be saved for SmackDown, but then why was Evans featured? LA Knight is a Raw star, but was only on the stage for AJ Styles tribute. Also missing were Asuka, Rhea Ripley, and AJ Lee. Becky Lynch cut a pre-taped promo ahead of their showdown. Number 3. The good. Raquel Rodriguez. Raquel Rodriguez is now heading to the Women's Elimination Chamber match. The Big Mommy Cool faced off with Sky and Kairi Sane in the final qualifying match for the Chamber this year. Many felt that Sky was the favorite to win that triple threat to punch her ticket to the Chicago PLE. However, Triple H surprised everybody with another big opportunity for Rodriguez. Well, things were getting quite predictable. Therefore, the company needed something new and fresh on the road to WrestleMania. Triple H seems to be heavily interested in booking Raquel in top spots in 2026, as she has been getting a big spotlight on Raw this year. With that win over Sane and Sky, Raquel has become one of the favorites to win the Women's Elimination Chamber. Number 4. The bad. Dirty Dom's title. Dominic Mysterio carries 2 important belts whenever he comes out to the ring. One in particular has stayed around his waist since late November, never facing any real danger. Dirty Dom accompanied Liv Morgan on Raw as she picked Stephanie Baker as her WrestleMania opponent. The go-home show would have been a prime spot to defend the Intercontinental title. Instead, Dominic whined about having to defend it next week against Penta for what seems like the 10th time. He was more worried that Finn Balor and JD McDonough didn't back him up last week. Number 5. The good. Liv Morgan confirms her WrestleMania. Liv Morgan won the Women's Royal Rumble to punch her ticket to WrestleMania 42. Since then, the former Women's World Champion has been moving to Raw and SmackDown to put the champions on notice. But this week, the Judgment Day member finally made her WrestleMania decision by choosing Stephanie Vaquer and the Women's World Championship. Triple H has been doing a tremendous job in building tensions between Vaquer and Morgan for the past few weeks. Last week, La Primera delivered an amazing backstage promo where she highlighted her journey towards stardom while questioning Morgan's credibility. This week, Liv Morgan stepped up to prove that she belongs in the ring with the best by taking down Vaquer. Overall, that segment has completely established a groundwork for an exciting road to WrestleMania between Morgan and Vaquer this year. Number 6. The bad. WWE is running out of ideas. Due to several major injuries and less than appealing decisions around some of WrestleMania 42's biggest matches, WWE has been in a full-on panic to make up for low ticket sales. Brock Lesnar was eliminated by both Cody Rhodes and LA Knight in the Royal Rumble. He appeared on with Paul Heyman to issue an open challenge for the Showcase of the Immortals. It felt like a time filler, as the Oracle repeated the same few lines over and over. He claimed no one in the locker room was brave enough to step up to the Beast. It leaves the door open for several potential opponents, but Heyman's promo was among the worst he's ever delivered. It will be repeated each week until it's answered. Number 7. The Good, Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar made his return. Fans were very excited to see the Beast in WWE following the Royal Rumble PLE last month. There were speculations that this appearance could set up Lesnar's WrestleMania 42 feud. However, WWE surprised everybody when no one interfered in the former UFC champion segment, leaving a sort of mystery behind his WrestleMania road. Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar announced an open challenge for WrestleMania 42 in Las Vegas. The Oracle put the entire WWE locker room on notice to step up against the Beast incarnate. Well, this is something fresh and new that has the potential to create a compelling storyline for the former WWE champion. Additionally, this gives Triple H enough time to build a solid creative plan for Lesnar moving forward. Number 8. The Bad, Bronson Reed's injury. The opening contest featured Jey Uso, El Grande Americano, and Bronson Reed battling for the last available spot inside the chamber. With Randy Orton, LA Knight, Cody Rhodes, Javon Evans, and Trick Williams already qualified, the stakes couldn't have been higher. The match carried through a commercial break and felt physical from the start. While Jey Uso and El Grande Americano had moments of control, Reed repeatedly shifted the momentum with his power offense. Late in the bout, Reed appeared to suffer an injury that forced the referee to check on him. After a brief pause, action resumed, and Jey Uso connected with his splash to secure the victory and officially claim the final chamber spot. However, that outcome may not have been the original direction. In an update following Raw, WrestleVotes reported, "Hope Bronson Reed is okay. He was the planned winner of that match." Number 9. The Good, AJ Styles is in the Hall of Fame. WWE paid a heartfelt tribute to AJ Styles in the main event of Raw. It was the final Raw appearance of the phenomenal one in his career, and he delivered an emotional speech to express gratitude to the fans. The veteran also shared his fond memories of working with the company while sharing his excitement to return to spend more time with his family. The entire WWE locker room came out to express respect for the former WWE champion, including the legendary Undertaker. But the dead man had some massive news for AJ Styles before he leaves the WWE ring for good. The Phenom announced that the Phenomenal One is heading to this year's Hall of Fame to receive the grand gesture of utmost respect in the business. AJ has an illustrious career in all of wrestling. Therefore, he well deserved the tag of Hall of Famer. With all that said, there could not be any better place to make that announcement than Styles' hometown of Atlanta. How long will Bronson Reed be out for? Michael Cole confirmed that the Vision member had suffered a torn bicep and would be out indefinitely. The recovery timeline for a torn bicep is usually 4 to 8 months, which seemingly confirms that Reed will be out for WrestleMania 42. Based on the recovery timeline for other such injuries, it is more likely that he will be back for SummerSlam 2026. With Seth Rollins and Bronn Breaker also out injured, all 3 original members of the Vision are in recovery, with no timeline for their return. In a recent vlog uploaded to YouTube, Logan Paul expressed his frustration at being attacked by the new Masked Man on Raw. He claimed that Bronson Reed would destroy him once the faction got their hands on him. I blame myself, to be honest. You got to expect the unexpected. But that motherfucker has done this for the last 3-4 weeks in a row. And I swear to God, if I get my hands on him, I am feeding him to Bronson Reed. I'm not kidding. That's not a hyperbole. Bronson Reed will eat him alive, Paul said. With Reed now out indefinitely, the storyline will likely go on without his involvement. It now remains to be seen how the creative team pivots their storylines following the injury. Bronn Breaker's injury is eating him up alive. Bronn Breaker was on the verge of a massive WrestleMania spotlight when everything came to a sudden stop. The rising WWE star aggravated a hernia heading into WrestleMania, forcing emergency surgery and sidelining him at the worst possible moment. While many would view that kind of timing as devastating, Paul Heyman sees it differently, and his reaction might surprise some fans. Speaking on Busted Open, Heyman made it clear there is never a good time to get hurt in WWE, especially not before the biggest show of the year. There is never the right time to get injured. It's always, oh man, of all days to get injured, this would be the worst time to get injured. And that's the day you get injured. It would be like breaking your ankle right before our first pay-per-view, or during the first pay-per-view. It's the same thing. Of all the times to break your ankle, that was the worst time for you to break your ankle. It's the same thing for Bronn Breaker headed into a ridiculously enormous spotlight at WrestleMania. And then comes this hernia that he aggravated beyond description to the point where they had to have emergency surgery. But instead of sympathy, Heyman wants frustration, the kind that sticks. So what's going to happen is that every day that he's home right now, it's eating him up alive. Great. I want that for him. Heyman believes that missing out on WrestleMania will fuel Breaker's return, making him more dangerous when he steps back into a WWE ring. The WWE Hall of Famer also opened up about his own brush with quitting the business after suffering an injury before WrestleMania years ago. Heyman revealed he dislocated his shoulder just weeks before the event and nearly walked away from wrestling altogether. "I dislocated my shoulder right before Mania, 3 weeks out, 4 weeks out, and I went through surgery and recovery and rehab and all of that, and I got to the point where I'd pass a mirror and would start crying. I felt like I let the boys down. I let the business down. And when Chris called me, I said, 'Man, I don't think my heart is in it, man. I don't want my heart broke like this no more.' And he said, 'I will come to your house and fight you every day if you don't get your ass back in here.' And I was like, 'Yeah, I don't think I want to fight Chris every day.' So I got back to work." That experience shapes how Heyman handles Breaker's recovery today. He doesn't just check in occasionally, he calls him every single day. Heyman explained why he refuses to let those quiet days creep in. Day 1 is the easiest because that's when everybody does it. That's when everybody puts their tribute and their well wishes. Everybody has their thoughts and their prayers day 1. But where are you day 8? What happens day 9 when it's not 50 people tweeting about you and posting Instagram stories about you and talking about you? What happens when you're not the topic of conversation? And those are the days where you sit there and you say, "I let everybody down, I let myself down, I let my family down." I call him every day to let him know, hey, you're one day closer to coming back, and here we go, and it's going to be time. Bronn Breaker may be recovering from surgery, but according to Heyman, the mental grind is just as important as the physical rehab. Missing WrestleMania might sting now, but Heyman believes that sting is exactly what will sharpen Breaker for the future. Vince McMahon quietly trying to buy back WWE. Rumors about Vince McMahon wanting to buy WWE back have been floating for months, but Jonathan Coachman just poured gasoline on the fire. After previously discussing the possibility that McMahon could someday reclaim the company following his 2024 resignation amid the Janelle Grant lawsuit, Coachman returned to the topic on the February 23, 2026 episode of The Coach and Bro Show. And this time, he claimed things may already be in motion. Coachman said his show has been ahead of the curve on the story. "Everybody's watching our show because we're the only ones that have been talking about this for an extended period of time." He then dropped a major allegation involving Saudi interest and early-stage conversations. It is all over the place that Vince, in a silent way, has now started talking with the Saudi to start engaging with TKO about buying the WWE back, and he would be somewhat of a silent partner. Coachman admitted he was initially skeptical after seeing similar chatter online. "I saw it on the dirt sheets, and I was like, do you really believe it? But then my source reached out to me today, Vince, and he confirmed that that is actively going around at the company and around TKO, that those talks are starting right now." According to Coachman, the idea circulating internally is that McMahon would not return publicly in the same dominant role he once held, but instead operate as a silent partner, while leveraging Saudi backing to re-enter the ownership picture. It's important to note that these claims remain unverified speculation and have not been confirmed by WWE, TKO Group Holdings, or Vince McMahon himself. However, the fact that the rumor is allegedly being discussed internally, if true, will only intensify debate about McMahon's long-term intentions. With billions of dollars at stake and WWE now firmly under the TKO umbrella, the idea of a buyback would represent one of the most dramatic corporate reversals in wrestling history. The Undertaker has unfinished business with AJ Styles. The Undertaker was present to pay tribute to AJ Styles for his legendary career. Interestingly, Taker joined the celebration with a major announcement. Speaking to Styles, the Phenom told him he still had unfinished business with the Phenomenal One. The crowd in Atlanta, Georgia, began to rumble as they anticipated the dead man's next move. He then announced the induction of Styles into the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2026. "But me and you, we got unfinished business. Jay, did you ever hear the phrase, 'If you see me coming, you're already gone'? I changed that phrase a little bit because if you see me coming, that means you're going. AJ, it is my esteemed honor to inform you that you are the newest inductee in the 2026 class of the WWE Hall of Fame." The Phenomenal One tapped out to the ring general in a career-threatening match, and that meant that this was the end of his run, at least in WWE. The fact that he intentionally chose not to put his gloves down led to speculation that he could be jumping to his home base of TNA to complete his career. As it turns out, that wasn't the case. AJ Styles simply wanted to leave his gloves at home in Atlanta, near his actual home of Gainesville, Georgia, and as a man of his word, he did just that, putting his gloves down and officially confirming the end of his legendary in-ring career. Brock Lesnar's schedule revealed. Last night, the Beast Incarnate didn't come alone, as he had his advocate, Paul Heyman. In a funny breaking the character moment, Lesnar came to the ramp and before doing his signature leg stomp, said something to Heyman, who giggled and told the Beast something, and both shared a laugh. Then he pointed at the ground, then at the camera, before doing his stomp. For those unaware, Lesnar suffered an embarrassing slip during his entrance on the November 24, 2025 episode of Raw in Oklahoma City. This was a subtle reference that the legend is still traumatized by his botch on the flagship show. Paul Heyman hyped up Brock Lesnar as his advocate. Then Heyman gave fans a history lesson about how WrestleMania used to have two main events, the title match and Undertaker's streak. He reminded fans that Brock broke Taker's streak, so that match goes to the Beast incarnate now. After asking who will face Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, he revealed that there is no prediction or spoiler. He said that not one person was man enough to step up and take the ass-kicking. Heyman announced that Lesnar will make 5 appearances on the road to WrestleMania, and if anyone steps up, then the match will get booked. Brock Lesnar is set to appear on several episodes of WWE Raw as the road to WrestleMania continues. He is scheduled for March 16th in San Antonio, March 23rd in Boston, and March 30th in New York City. Lesnar will also be part of the April 6th episode in Houston and the April 13th show in Sacramento. We will have to see who steps up to take on Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. At this point, Obafemi seems like a likely candidate, but only time will tell what Triple H and his creative books for the show of shows. Gunther asks to retire Brock Lesnar. Gunther has evolved into a force to be reckoned with on Raw in a short span. The Ring General earned the career killer moniker after retiring some major names, including Goldberg, John Cena, and AJ Styles. Fans are now wondering which legend could be next on the Ring General's radar. Brock Lesnar is widely expected to face the Austrian in his retirement bout at some point. Recently, Gunther appeared in an interview on The Morning Shift, where he was asked about his next major victim on WWE TV. When the host pitched Lesnar's name, the Raw superstar said it was a good idea. That's a good one, right? We'll see. I think there are a bunch of examples of people who overstay their welcome, who just hang on a little bit too much, who chase one moment too much. It seems like there is a big amount sick of people to choose from, he said.